Hello and welcome to my channel, On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And today let's find out what's been on the hook. Turn that the right way. This is my clover hook and it is size PQ, very large, and it's a 15 millimeter. That is really big. And I did use this to make some blankets for my grandsons of the Bernat blanket yarn, and they were so much fun to make. But I've never used it for anything else, but I do use it to open my show every week, and I welcome you to On the Hook Crochet with Jeannie. I hope you'll enjoy your time here and that I'll be an inspiration in some way for you to do some knitting, some crocheting, or some diamond painting. And I have a special diamond painting picture to show you today from one of my viewers. Now, let's just talk about a few little things I want to kind of continue from last week. If you watched last week's video, you will know that I had started a new Sunlace Tee. I had started a Rebecca sweater, and I had finished a Sunlace Tee, and I was working on a Rebecca sweater for a couple weeks. I have been, and I've enjoyed doing that. I've changed some of the pattern to suit me for this particular one. I've made this 3 or 4 times, and every time I make it, I do something different. So I'll show you what I've done for that later on in the video. Now, you are watching an ad-free video. I don't run ads in the middle of my videos so that you're not interrupted or have to walk over to your phone or to your screen and change it. So I hope you'll enjoy this ad-free video. I'm also asking you to support me if you can, which helps a lot. If you buy things from my Etsy shop and from my website, all those the links will be down in the video description box. And also you can become a member of our channel. And our channel, I say Mr. On the Hook and me, he helps me very much working on my videos, and he works on my website. He tries to keep it up and running, and it's a real challenge to do that. So I appreciate Mr. On the Hook. So when I say we, that's who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mr. On the Hook and Miss On the Hook. So the two of us are kind of working together now that he's retired, and he's able to help me just a little bit. Every week I like to say who has joined the member role, and Gail Eppel joined this week, and thank you so much, Gail. Appreciate that. I have lots of others who have previously joined, so thank you for watching my videos, and I appreciate everything that you do for me. You can also subscribe to this channel, share this video, and to like this video, and that helps me a lot with YouTube, so thank you so much for doing that. Now, let's talk about a couple things I brought up last week. I brought up the Mary Maxim catalog, and this is it right here. This is the one that has the Bag O' Day yarn. It's a beautiful yarn. I have not ordered any yet, but I did order this, and this was something I mentioned last week. This is the stacked fall pumpkins right here. There they are right there. And I just thought those were really, really cute. Now, it says on here that they are 12.5 inches tall, which is not very tall, and they're stacked. So I guess that's, when you put all 3 together, that's how big they are. But I did order the kit. I just felt like I wanted to. When I went out to order it, instead of $14.99, it was $11.44. And so it also cost me $10 to ship it, so I didn't come out that well. But I did come out a little better than I would have otherwise. But I've ordered these, and they're on their way to my house, so I'm really excited about that. I'll be glad to start those. I'm trying to get a head start on fall and winter, and I'm trying to work on summer too as well. I'm working on summer sweaters, and I'm also I've got some patterns in the works for my fall lookbook, which should be coming out in a couple of months, so be looking for that. Now, last week I talked about my stacked pumpkins, which I'm excited about. I also have a brand new Knit Nation. This came in this week, and it has 7 patterns in it. And I've looked through here. I've kept it very pristine. I haven't messed up the pages or anything, and this will be in the giveaway today. But I wanted to show this to you. This is just a great newspaper if you're a knitter. And there's also a Crochet Nation, and there's also now a Baking Nation. They've come out with another one for those of you who like to bake, and maybe bake cakes or bake cookies and bake meals or whatever it is you're baking. And I'm sure it'll be just as interesting as these. But I have the Knit and the Crochet Nation coming to me every month, and I do pass those along to my viewers because I want y'all to have them. I don't need them. I look through them, and I think they're really nice and all. I have a lot of other things I'm working on, so I will be giving these away. I had to fix a curl on the top of my head. It was sticking straight up. Okay, on the back, here is the crossword puzzle, and there's a word search in here, and also up here it talks about Baking Nation right there. And you can grab your copy if you want to, and there's a way to do that. Let's see, you go to thekindnesscompany.com, thekindnesscompany.com, and I'll put a link to that down in the description and ask them for the Baking Nation, and they will send you a copy of that, or you can buy a year's subscription. I have a year's subscription to Crochet Nation, and I'm buying Knit Nation by the month, so I may end up taking 12 months of that as well, but I didn't know this even existed when I bought Crochet Nation. So this also has some fun stories. It has a fun story that is continuous from month to month. It also has, like I showed you, puzzles in it. It has some jokes in here. It has knitting trivia, and there's a whole section about knitting and the history of knitting, and it's really, really good. I've read it every month so far, and it's really interesting. There are also some cozy living, they call it, and this has a market bag and some other things that you can knit in here. It's a really nice newspaper, so I can't promote this enough. I'm not sponsored by them. They're not giving me anything to show these on my channel, but I just think they're a nice addition if you like to get away from your screen every now and then and just say, I'm not looking at my email right now or my text. I'm not looking at voicemail. I'm not looking at any of that. I'm just going to knit, and I'm going to look at my newspaper while I'm outside or whatever you're doing. And it's really nice to just pick up a piece of newspaper and read it. Now, this has, I've read it many times, all capital 2 or 3 months I've read it, and there is no ink on on my hands, none on my hands. There is no ink that rubs off like in the old time newspapers. I used to get the paper every day, and your hands would be black after you read it, but it's not like that. This is a new kind of ink, I suppose, and the paper is really super nice. It's not real thin. It's a nice newspaper and something you can keep for future reference. So that again is Knit Nation, and that'll be in my giveaway section today, later in my video. Well, today I don't have any new projects started. I had startitis a few weeks ago, and I tell you, I started several things, 2 of which are already in timeout. And these 2 things, the Rebecca sweater and the Sunlace Tee. And I want to show you these and the challenges I've had in making one and the other. I had a big challenge with this one, and I'll just tell you about it. Now that I've got you back on my video, this is the yarn that I use. This is Knit Crate yarn, URU yarn, and it's called Sugared Sport, and that is a sport weight yarn. It's kind of small. It's between a 2 and a 3. I think that's kind of what it is. A size 2 and a 3 weight yarn. It's 70% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 10% stellina, and that is the bling that you'll see in here. If you look carefully, you can see the bling. As I turn back and forth, I can see it in the camera. I don't know if you can see it at home, but this is actually machine washable, lay flat to dry. And this is the amount of yarn I had left over. And one of the things I want to ask you is if you ever played Yarn Chicken. I played Yarn Chicken on this around the bottom of my sweater. And I was putting some extra rows on the bottom of my sweater because it was too short. I didn't like it. It was a little bit too cropped, and I wanted to add some length to the sweater. I also made it a little bigger than the Sunlace Tee I originally made from some 24/7 yarn by Lion Brand. It was a size 3, and I used a little bit of the 4th skein of that. I used 3 skeins and then part of a 4th skein, and that was about 700 or 800 yards I used. And on this I had 760 yards. Okay, and I thought, well, I can get that done. I'm not worried about it. I should have been worried about it because I started on my 3rd hank and I was still on the back of my sweater, and I hadn't done any of my edgings yet, and I planned to put some more rows at the bottom of my sweater to make it a little bit longer. I just really wanted a little bit longer. And so when I started the bottom of my sweater, I went around 2 or 3 times, 3 times I think it was, and the 4th time I really wanted that 4th row. And I started on the side seam, and I went around the back, and I ran out of yarn. I didn't have enough to go around the front. So the back is slightly longer than the front, which is actually works out for me. I wanted the back to be a little bit longer. The front is not so important, but the back is. When I lift up my arms, I don't want the back coming up. So there again, I'm not used to playing yarn chicken. I usually buy way more yarn than I need for a prototype or for my own use. I usually have more yarn than I need, but I had barely enough of this, and since I made it a little bit wider, maybe an inch or two more ease in the sweater than I did the Sunlace Tee originally, then I know I should have planned on that, and I figured I'd have enough, because I always just figure I'll have enough, but I didn't have enough, and so I had to stop right in the middle of the front row and just rip it out back to the side seam. So I'm going to stand up and show this one to you. Well, this is my newest Sunlace Tee. Love it very much. It's quite wonderful. The yarn is very soft and smooth, and it's just comfortable as it can be. Now, as you notice, the bottom is right here. I don't know if you can see that with my gray pants, but the bottom is right along here, and then the back is a tiny bit longer. See, the back is just a little bit longer, just about maybe 1/3 of an inch longer. But that's okay, because it worked out all right. It looks fine. The sides, I edged them in with some single crochet and a couple of just slip stitches at the end so that they blended in with the front row, and it looks just fine, not a problem. But I wanted to show you this because the neck is even different. I made the neckline a little bit smaller. My Sunlace Tee original was over here, a little bit farther over, and this one I didn't go as far over. I also used an F hook to make this. That is a 3.75 millimeter hook, which took up a little bit more yarn, and that was another reason I was playing yarn chicken at the end. I had a smaller needle. The other one, a smaller hook. The first one I made was a G hook. I used a G hook for that, and the stitches were a tiny bit larger, but I didn't put as much ease. In this one, I put a little bit more ease, as you can see. It's a little bit looser. It kind of curves out a little bit at the bottom, which is what I wanted. So I used a size F hook for this to make it. I also didn't put as many rows here. I only put 4 rows of crochet, half double crochet there on each sleeve. On the original, I used 5. But I knew I was going to run out of yarn. I just had that feeling, so I didn't want to put too many rows on the sleeves, so I would have enough to add on to the bottom because I needed a little bit more length. I hope you like this pattern. I really like it. I might make it again because it's not a slow moving pattern. It's very fast. There's no decreasing here at the arms. I didn't use any decreasing. I did increase here and then decrease up there at the top. And as you'll notice, the back comes up higher than it usually does on my sweaters because I curved the sides in and they met the back at an earlier point, so that made the neckline a little bit shorter across the back. So if you try that, you might use 4 of each increase and decrease along the sides, and I explain that in the pattern how to do that. If you use an extra one, then you'll have more of an increase and more of a decrease, and that makes the neckline look a little bit different than it did in my original prototype. So certain things you can do to change my patterns around to make them your design. So that is, again, the Sunlace Tee. You can find it on my Etsy shop and on my website as well. Now here's a picture of a diamond painting that one of my viewers sent in. Her name's Yvonne. I'm not going to say your last name, Yvonne, but Yvonne sent me this, and she finished her diamond painting because I had inspired her to finish. And I do finish my diamond paintings. I finish them all eventually. I don't always finish them right away because I might get one in the middle of that and put it away and time out and bring it back out. And that's what I did with my diamond painting. But I'm going to show you a picture of Yvonne's painting. It's so beautiful. And it's like it looks like a dogwood tree, but there's some water in the background and a beautiful moon over the water. Is quite lovely. And Yvonne, congratulations on finishing that. Be sure to get it framed or frame it yourself so you can get it up on your wall and look at it, because it is a wonderful thing to finish a diamond painting, not just to start them, which I like to do, but I do like to finish them as well, because it's important to look at the work that you've done or wear the work that you've done. It's important to do that. So Yvonne, congratulations. And here is a look at the progress on my newest diamond painting. Showing progress this week for my diamond painting. This is When Dreams Come True, and it's so beautiful. I just really love it. And you can see it so much better when you step back, because when I'm working on it, I can't even see what I'm working on. But right now I am, let me get a pen here and I'll point it out to you. This is where I have left to do. Right here in this upper right corner, this is what I have left to diamond paint. I'm almost finished. I've worked all the way from, I guess last week I was right about here. So I've worked all of this so far. This week I'll have maybe 3 nights left to do that. 1, 2, 3, probably about 3 nights left. And that way I'll be all done and I'll get it sealed and get it to the framers. Mr. On the Hook has expressed an interest in this one for his bathroom. He's got a bathroom with these colors in it, and he's thinking he might want to have this. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But I just wanted to show you, stepping back, how beautiful this is. The colors that are in here, it's so gorgeous. I know I say that every week, but when I look at it, it's just such a beautiful array of different colors. Like right here, there aren't any other colors in here much like that except right up here. There's nothing like that over here. These are all yellow, kind of yellow-white lights. And over here you see the dark orange over here, this on this side of the painting. And a little bit down here to kind of balance it out. Let me get my pen there. Right in here to balance it out. A little bit here to balance it out. But I noticed the two people, they look a little bit more real now that I have more of the painting finished. So loving that, loving that. So beautiful. And again, this is When Dreams Come True. I found the link to it in Painting with Diamonds. That's the company that I got this from a long time ago, and they still offered it. So I put the link down. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I put the link down in the description box for you in case you're interested in trying one of these. But it's a quite beautiful painting, and it's not a quick paint because I've been working on this top row for, it seems like a long time. I did take a couple days off, but I have this much left to go. And see, by you look at that, you can't really tell what it's going to look like. But when you get through with it, this is what it looks like. It's quite beautiful. So anyway, that's the progress I've made, again, on When Dreams Come True, my diamond painting and my progress this week. Here's a question. I think I've already asked this once, but do you play yarn chicken? Do you crochet faster when you play yarn chicken? I did. I was crocheting really fast on this around the bottom to see if I could get 4 rows around the bottom. But what I did was, before I finished that, I thought I'm just going to run out of yarn. So what I'll do is I will order some more. And of course, it's Knit Crate. So Knit Crate is out of business, as you know. I really miss them. I've still got some beautiful yarn from Knit Crate, but I'm trying to work through my stash. And that's what this was. This was my stash. And I wanted to be sure that I worked through it before I bought any more luxury yarn. And I may do that anyway, but that's my intent anyway. So what I was going to say is I went out on Google and I typed in URU yarn, Knit Crate, Sugared Sport, Lapis. And Lapis is the color of this particular yarn, Lapis, or Lapis, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And I found some. Found 2 or 3 places that had on eBay had this yarn. I think Etsy had some too, but I found one. All I wanted was 1 hank, and this company on eBay had 1 hank of that particular color, and I ordered it. It was $16, but you know, I figured if I couldn't finish I was on the back of my sweater before I ordered. When I ordered, I was still working on it, and I just really didn't think I had enough yarn to put the edgings on and to do the bottom and all that. So I went ahead and ordered it, and then I realized I had enough to finish. I had this much left, and I was able to live with that. But when it comes in, I might give it away. I might give it to one of y'all. You can try it for yourselves. But and there's also some out there on eBay. If you want to add to it and make a sweater or something, you can do that. But anyway, I was finding myself crocheting so fast, thinking that was going to help me, but it wasn't. I think it's just all up here. I thought if I was crocheting faster, I wouldn't run out. Anyway, I was just kidding around, but I've heard other people say that too, that they crochet faster when they're running out of yarn and they're not sure they're going to make it to the end of their project. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. I wanted to ask y'all, do you crochet faster when you're running out of yarn? Crystal is wearing my newest Rebecca sweater. Love this. I'm making this with Cotton Sprout from from Premier Yarns. Love it. Love this yarn. I've already made this in yellow one time, and I just really like the blue, so I thought I would make a blue one. And like I said, I make these different every time I make them. And so I started out with a different number around the neck. You can start out with any number you want. Doesn't matter which number. You can start out with any numbers you want. Use any yarn you want and any hook you want. And I do give you a suggestion in there, but you don't have to follow my suggestion at all. And then we crochet for a while using some increases. And I tell you how to do that, but I'm not telling you to count stitches or anything. There's none of that. So you might try it just because there's no stitch counts in here. But we have 2 rows of a design element, which adds a little bit of interest to it, especially if you're using a single color yarn. If you're using one color, then that adds a lot to your design. And it also goes around the back as well, see? So, and these random stitch markers I have on here is where I decreased around the back. I decreased a little bit. See, there's one there, one here, one over here, one over here, and one over here. There are 4 along here because I felt like the back was a little bit too big right here, so I decreased along and brought it in just a little bit, and it does fit me better. It doesn't poke out in the back. It looks fine. And also right here, I broke for the sleeves right here, okay? Too low. My sleeve, this sleeve right here was too long and the opening was too big. So I stitched together the sweater right up in here for about 1 inch. And then I have my 8 inches that I need for my armhole right here. So if you find yourself too wide here, you can use your crochet intuition. You can stitch along there and close it up just a little bit so you're not having to decrease so much on your sleeve. Because I did that at first. I didn't do the stitch up. I just thought, well, these are blousy sleeves. I'll just decrease. And so I decreased all along here, and it looked like a little puffy sleeve like that. See, it looked like a little puffy sleeve. But it's the right width now, so my arm will pretty much fill this out. And because I sewed it up at the bottom, that worked just great. But when I was originally making it, you can make it without any chains under here to hook the front to the back, or you can add 16 chains, whatever you think it needs under here to give you the width across that you want, and all that's in the pattern. But I added 2 chains, and that was too much. That added too much width, and so I sewed that up, and it was working just fine. So what I plan to do is a decrease here and here, just to get rid of that tiny little puff right there when I start doing the edging around the sleeves, and that'll work just fine. And I'll be wearing this next week. I'll show you what it looks like. But I did the same thing on the other side. I stitched up here at the bottom, right here. You can't even see it. And then I will go around it and add those 2 decreases like I did on this side, and then they will match. And you definitely have to do the same thing on one arm as you do on the other arm. One side is the same as the other side, unless you're built some kind of weird way and you might have more width on one side than the other. I don't know that, but that also is something you can change on my patterns. Now at the bottom, I did a double row of rib around the bottom, and I did a 2 by 2 rib around the bottom. You can't see it too much there, but yeah, you can kind of see it there when the light hits it just right. But I wanted something a little bit at the bottom to bring it in, and I used a smaller hook on this. So up here I used a size 7 hook, which is a 4.5 millimeter hook. It's just a little bit bigger than a G, a 4.5. A G is a 4 millimeter, and 4.0 millimeter, and the size 7 is a 4.5. And so I dropped back to an F, and I used it on here, and it's a 3.75, and it brought this in quite a bit. And so you can use a smaller hook to sort of change the look of your garment if you want to, and that brought the bottom in. Let me see if I can show that to you. It brought the bottom in just a little bit along the edge, as you can see here. Let me hold it up. You can see now, if I lay it down, you can kind of see how the bottom is not quite as floofy as the rows before it. So I think that helps quite a bit. it did bring the bottom in. See how it cups in just a little bit there? And when I put it on, you'll see the difference. But I'll model this for you next week. Crystal was nice enough to model this for me this week, and I'll be wearing this next week. And she might be wearing something else. I don't know. I haven't had too much startitis right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I have a little bit of yarn in my stash, but not too much. I have some tiny fingering weight yarn, and I'm not excited about using that because I'm kind of tired of using small yarns. I like worsted weight yarns. They're my very favorite yarns, and I miss using them because it takes a long time to crochet with something small like this, although the one thing great about it is that you can't see through it, and it is a beautiful look, and it's a lot lighter than wearing. This is a size 3 yarn. This is a 2.5, about sugared sport. It's a sport weight, which is a little bigger than a size 2. This is a 3, and some of my prototypes are worsted weight, and just like this, this new little Afghan I'm making for our church blanket drive, this is worsted weight, and it's very quick to work with. I love worsted weight yarns. They aren't so perfect for summer wear, though. I don't love them for summer wear. I rather prefer the smaller weight yarns, but they also take a lot longer to crochet. So I usually have 2 projects going at the same time, so I don't get upset with the slow process using a smaller yarn. Same with knitting, too. Knitting something small is just too much. I found that out. I knitted last year. I knitted a couple of things. One of them was a cowl, and it was made with bulky yarn. And it went so fast. It was so awesome. I had big needles, and I was, it was real easy to knit. And then when I started this, and I showed this to you last week, this is somewhat of a sweater. That's coming out. I'm frogging this out, and I'm not going to use it for knitting. I can't. I'm not excited about knitting something with this DK yarn. I just don't love it. I wish I did. I don't knit fast enough to make me go fast enough to make me happy. I'm not happy doing that. I'm making it with City Tweed, as you know. This is a DK weight, and the colorway is Romance. And a lot of you said you really love the color. I love the color. Let me get one of these out of here. This is a beautiful color. I just love it. It's perfect. But I'm not sure where I'm going to use it. I have a lot of it. I have like 10 donuts. And so I don't want to use it for a summer weight top because I won't be using enough of it and I'll have a lot left over. So I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I'm still thinking about it. This yarn will tell me what it wants me to do. I really believe that. And I've been writing to y'all about that. Whoever wins yarn from me and get in these giveaways at the end of my videos, I always say, and I've started to say, this yarn will tell you what it wants to be. If it's just one hank, it will tell you what it wants to be. And the best idea is just sit on it for a little while and look at it and just kind of imagine what it would look like as a hat or a pair of mittens or a baby hat, maybe a little tiny baby sweater. I don't know how many yards it takes to do one of those. It's been a long time since I made a baby sweater, and they were all crocheted, so I had to use a lot of yarn for those. But knitting takes less. I do agree with that, but I'm conflicted about using a size 3 yarn to knit with. I don't think I'm ready for that. I made a couple of dishcloths out of size 3 yarn, and I knit 4 or 5 out of size 3 yarn, but they were small enough so I could finish them, and I didn't get depressed about how long it was going to take me to finish the dishcloth. The dishcloths went fairly quickly, and I was okay with that. But I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted between knitting and crocheting. I wanted to make a summer tee out of some size 3 cotton, and I just thought, there's no way I'm going to knit anything out of a size 6 needle, which is what it calls for, 6 needle, and I don't think I would be going fast enough with that. I think it would bog me down, and then when I started to try to shape the neckline, I would probably just put it away because I'm really a crocheter. I want to be a knitter, and I plan to keep knitting, but I might need to knit something bigger, bigger yarn, bigger diameter yarn, so that it's a little bit quicker for me to finish. Because once you're a crocheter, you know you can finish things in a very short amount of time. Even using an F hook, even using an F hook, you can finish. I'm sorry, this is a G hook. Even using a G hook, you can finish. But using a size 6 needle, knitting, I'm not fast enough to do that yet. Have I talked enough about knitting today? I am going to see the Frogman about this. The Frogman's going to visit, and I'm going to take that out. I didn't use that much yarn, and I made some mistakes in it, and every time I see that, it's going to bother me. So I'll probably just frog this out, put it away, and it'll tell me what it wants to be. You know, I feel like I went on and on and on about that knitting and crocheting thing, but if you have some thoughts, let me know. How do you feel about it? I'm fine with that. If you want to let me know, I'd be grateful, because my viewers mean a lot to me, and I appreciate everything you write to me. Y'all are the sweetest people in the YouTube universe. I really appreciate you. You always have something constructive to say, something sweet to say, and I love reading my comments. And you know, I try to heart each one of those, so you'll know that I actually read your comment. I read the whole thing, and some of them I actually reply to. So again, I appreciate your comments when you enter them in the video. And also you can win a prize or win a gift from me, because I have gifts at the end of each video. So let's talk about what we're giving away today. We're giving away 3 skeins of Bernat Giggles, and this is cute little yarn. It's very, very white and beautiful for a baby or for you. You can make a top out of this. This is a size, I believe it's a 4. Let me look. Let me be sure I know what I'm talking about here. It's a size 4 yarn. It's size worsted. So you have 3 skeins of that, and on each skein are 185 yards. So there's a lot of yarn here. There you go, right there. And if you wanted that, you could use the word Bernat in your comment from last week, B-E-R-N-A-T, Bernat. So I saw a lot of people that wanted that. It's a substantial amount of yarn. You can make something from it. This is Vanna's Choice, and this is our second gift. It's a number 4 yarn as well. I love this yarn. I've used it many times. Vanna's Choice is from Lion Brand, and they still sell it. I really love it. This is the colorway Taupe. So if you use the word Vanna in your comment, you will have entered into the gift for this week. And then last of all, but not least, is a beautiful luxury yarn called Washed or Washed. You can pronounce it either way, I guess. This is an absolutely beautiful yarn knit up. I actually knitted it into a cowl. I showed that on my last video, and you can go and look at it if you want to. But this is a beautiful hank of yarn that I've already caked up, and it's merino wool. So be sure you know that it's wool. So if you're allergic to wool, you might not want this, but the colorways in here are gorgeous, and they actually still have this yarn. I saw it the last time I was out there. It's Piedras, Piedras, and it's color number 862 if you're interested. This is a beautiful yarn, and it knits, and I'm sure it crochets beautifully as well. But that is our third gift, and you needed to use the word luxury, L-U-X-U-R-Y, in order to sign up for this gift. So let's turn the camera to the computer and find out who wins these gifts this week. Here we are at the computer, and I have put the address for the video in here, and I'm also going to check the comments for the word Vanna. Vanna is the yarn I'm giving away first, so we'll get the comments for that. Come over here. And let's see who wins the Vanna's Choice yarn in the taupe color this week. Beautiful yarn. Love it, love it. That's Patricia 92949. Patricia 92949. Okay, so Patricia, congratulations. You've won the Vanna yarn for this week's video. Okay, now let's go to the word Bernat. We're going to find out who wins this white yarn from Bernat. Sorry about the camera work. Let's go over here, get our comments. All right, go down here and find out who wins the Bernat White Giggles yarn. I just love that yarn. So beautiful, white, pure white. Karen M7197. Karen M7197. You have won the Bernat yarn. So congratulations, Karen. And let's go back up here for our final gift. And our final gift is called Luxury, L-U-X-U-R-Y, Luxury, and that is for the luxury yarn we're giving away today. Let's go down here, get our comments. Y'all know this is, I believe it's wool. It's wool. So the luxury yarn goes to Sunshine Susie 5324. Sunshine Susie 5324. That's S-U-Z-I, Susie. Congratulations, Susie. You've won the luxury yarn. Congratulations to all of our winners. And I hope you enjoy your gifts from On the Hook Crochet. I love to give these away, so I hope you know that. Congratulations to the winners. Please send me your name and address in the body of your email. And in the subject line, put winner. And also in the body of the email, tell me what you want so I can be sure I'm sending the right gift to the right person. I usually don't have a problem with that, but every now and then I get confused. And I want to be sure that I'm sending the right gift to the right person. So be sure to do that. Congratulations to the winners. And congratulations to others who participated. I thank you so, so much for entering the gift giveaway. I really appreciate that. I love to give away things, and I like to know that you're participating and hoping you might win. You never know. All right, so this week we're giving away 3 gifts. And one gift is a gift that has not been claimed. This is Knitology Glowing Worsted. Flying Trapeze is the colorway. It's Knitology. It's from Knit Crate. Beautiful, beautiful yarn, and nobody claimed the gift. I had the name on here, and if you think you've won this gift and you've sent me an email and I missed it, which is possible, be sure to write to me this week. And if not, I'm going to give this away to whoever used the word, I'm not going to use that, whoever used the word glow, G-L-O-W, G-L-O-W, glow, in your comment, and you'll be in the running for this beautiful light turquoise luxury yarn from Knit Crate. This is wool, so be sure you know that if you're allergic, you know that you can't use it, and that's okay. All right, so that's our gift number 1 for next week, and also I'm giving away the Knit Nation. This is a pristine newspaper. I haven't even really I've opened it and I've read some of it, but I was very careful not to bend the pages or anything. So it's like a brand new newspaper, and I'll send it to you in an envelope and you can read it. It's Knit Nation, and use the keyword nation, N-A-T-I-O-N. Let me get that up there. Nation, N-A-T-I-O-N, Knit Nation. Use the word nation, and you'll be in the running for this newspaper. So that's gift number 2 for next week, and you'll love that, whoever wins it. I even like it. I'm not that great a knitter, as I just explained in the last segment. I admit it. All right, and this is my 3rd gift and another luxury yarn. This is Knitology Worsted Size in 2 shades of pink, and it's beautiful pale shade and a medium shade there. So gorgeous, and it's very, very squishy. And it's a superwash merino, worsted size, Knitology. And I think these are 50-gram balls. So there's, I don't know how many yards are on here. It doesn't say on the label. I don't know why. I don't see on here where it says on the label. I don't understand that. But anyway, it doesn't say on the label how many yards are in here. But there are 2 shades of pink, and you can make a baby sweater with light pink and dark pink, or you can make a couple of hats or something like that with this. Is a beautiful luxury yarn, very squishy, very beautiful, wonderful. It's been in my stash, and if you want to win this, use the word pink, P-I-N-K, pink, and that'll tell you what you're signing up for. Pink luxury yarns. We have the pink luxury yarn, glow for the other luxury yarn, and nation for the newspaper. So be sure you sign up for those, and I'm excited. I love to give away luxury yarn. I won't be using it. I'd love to use it, but I just don't have time to do any more things with it. I guess I could, but I want y'all to have it. Somebody who might use it right away and be able to enjoy it more than me, because I've got some more in my stash over there that I have to worry about getting that crocheted or knitted up. Probably crocheted up, but anyway. I won't go back into that. I'm okay. I'm a crocheter, I'm a knitter, I'm a diamond painter, and I like to say those things because I do know how to do all 3. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining me on my ad-free video. Thank you so very much. Be sure to like this video. That helps me a lot. And join me next time to find out what's on the hook.